Good day, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you going?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Under the circumstances, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, awesome. I actually just realized here, and that's again a little part of doing the whole producer stuff here myself. I actually forgot to unmute myself when I did the introduction, so I just got a couple of notifications here saying, "Hey, dude, there's no mic on." But anyway, exactly, man. That
Yeah. Do it
the
again.
whole yeah, man.
Do it again.
Fuck. Oh man. So anyway, basically what I was just trying to say is I can see now, obviously I have seen the comments now, so thanks so much guys for making me aware that there was no audio on. But basically all I was saying is keep commenting, please. That's greatly encouraged, and we will get back to all the comments a little bit later on. But anyway, dude, first of all, how are you feeling about George Pell? Because this song is obviously very, very, very sort of relevant this day and age.
I'm obviously not a fan of his. Oh, fuck that dude. It's fucking terrible. Yeah, put him back into jail. Yeah, yeah, he's a horrible person.
Or maybe even better, maybe get him out now. Come out and say hi to Corona.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Let him go into a Corona camp somewhere and die. Sorry, but yeah.
I'm sure he'll have a great time now, finally being out of jail. Esben, man, so good to have you on board. How's things going in Copenhagen?
Pretty good. It's probably the hottest day of the year right now, and yeah, people are slowly forgetting about the whole Corona thing. So there's a lot of people in the streets. So I'm a bit anxious about that, but other than that, things are pretty much under control, and yeah, nothing is happening. We can't we can't go to shows, we can't play shows, but that's the same as everywhere else in the world, I guess.
Yeah, it's quite unprecedented. You know, it's everywhere. It's the same here in Perth in Australia, and same overseas, and in America and the rest of Europe. It's just I'm assuming so many musicians must be struggling heaps these days.
Oh yeah. Both musicians, but also all the crew. I think the crew might be a little bit hit harder than the actual musicians, because they rely heavily on the musicians, on touring. And musicians, they have like this passive income from streams and stuff like that, so they get a little bit. But all the crew, they get directly from the artists, and they have a really hard time at the moment.
Yeah, of course. So how does that affect you in your current situation?
Actually, I went full on with my new agency, which we will get back to later. But
absolutely,
I went live, so to speak, and I was on welfare or supplemented welfare, and then I said no, I can do this. I got some jobs, I got some income, but then the society closed down, and I completely lost, every income I had had any future income. Yeah, so I was okay. Then I have to go back on welfare, or dagpenge as it's called in Danish.
Yeah, day money.
Day money. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So, but is there any other musicians who would be like entitled to get money from the government in Denmark, or how does that work? Or are you solely sort of relying on streams, or because I'm assuming you can't sell much these days anyway?
Actually, I think merch sales and record sales are going all right at the moment, because people maybe haven't realized that we're in a crisis yet. So I think that part is okay. I think there's bands are generating a lot of income from merchandise still.
All right.
Yeah, but I should have followed this, but I'm not sure. But I think that Danish musicians can actually apply to get help from these bailout not bailout packages, but help packages that our government has created. So because if you have every company who had like a historic can show like
some sort of from lost revenue or something.
Exactly, from last year, they can actually get government support at the moment. So no, it's not totally collapsed yet.
So what would be like? What's the next step, you reckon? Like in regards to sort of going back on tour and starting to play live and interacting with fans? Because as of right now, that's actually the whole reason why I sort of started to do this, because it's perfectly corona safe. You can sit here, you can talk to people on next door, but people next door has the same restrictions as people overseas. So how do you reckon they're gonna sort of loosen up the restrictions and allow people to go back out to concerts and venues?
Our government, we're already opening the society up a bit at the moment. The youngest kids get to daycare, they go to school. I think it's on Monday that hairdressers and actually also tattoo artists and stuff like they can open their businesses again. Wow. And then our government has said that no more than 500 people can gather until the 1st of September. So, and it's still a little unclear if it's 500 people outside or 500 people inside. So we're trying to figure out in the music business right now, can we actually do shows inside venues, or does it have to be small festivals or small shows outside? But it looks like we can actually do shows with up to 500 people until the 1st of September.
Well, that would be a little bit awkward, because obviously being in a rock band, usually you're in a mosh pit, you are really up and close and personal. It would be a very sort of different vibe at a show if you have to sort of stand 2 meters apart and all sort of divided out in big squares.
Yeah, they haven't been the government hasn't been real clear on what the restrictions exactly are, but they have opened for the possibility of shows happening until with the capacity of 500 people in total. Yeah. So that's a positive in all this crap.
But then obviously Roskilde and all the big festivals are completely axed.
They are dead. I sort of knew that already like a month and a half ago, talking to people in that line of work, and they were not happy at all at that point. So I kind of put 2 and 2 together. Okay, these festivals are not going to happen, even though we can try and save them, but no, it was impossible.
Is that something that they would be able to sort of financially recover from?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will. Also, Roskilde has given people they have a very loyal audience, so they have given people the choice to keep the ticket from this year, and you get reimbursed for next year. And a lot of people will do that. I just read a headline today. I don't know if it's true or not, but I just read a headline that Copenhagen is kind of in a there's a little bit of a mix-up. They're in a kind of a battle with because it's Live Nation. I think they have it's like a big machine that they have to make everything fit before they can actually pay out money to people, or do as Roskilde Festival and give people the choice to keep the ticket and they can use it next year. But they will definitely be back next year.
Good, because that's again that's like one of the biggest exports or imports, if you like. Roskilde, and I've never actually been to Copenhagen myself, because I think it started around the same time as I moved to Australia. But I've obviously seen that Copenhagen has grown significantly over the years.
Yeah. You mean Copenhagen, right? Not
Copenhagen, of course, yes. Copenhagen has been there for a long time.
Has grown as well, actually.
I'm sure it has, yeah.
But not the same percentage as Copenhagen. Yeah, they started out in 2010 with I don't know 5,000 people, and nowadays it's like with the one-day tickets as well, it's like 35,000. So it's getting pretty huge. Yeah. So it's a huge festival.
Yeah, and it's all and that's all the great bands. You know, bands up sort of my avenue and your avenue as well. You know, it's So some of the lineups on the rosters of previous years, it's like, man, why don't they do this kind of stuff in Perth, you know, or Australia? It's and if they do it in Australia, and if it is. It's like, but that's again the thing about Australia, and we'll get back to that later when we talk about sort of the whole touring ideas that we've been talking about. But the logistics here are just nuts, man. You have a country, you know, it's the size of Europe, it's the size of North America, and there's like 5 or 6 cities that ideally you'd play a concert in. There's like 3,500 kilometers in between at the longest stretch. So it's just
So you have to spend like 3 weeks to if you drive around to play 5 shows.
You can definitely do the East Coast, and you can do that sort of comfortably in a bus, but you'd be driving non-stop in between shows. It's crazy, man. But look, But in regards to Copenhagen, I remember I saw a video where you played there with HateSphere a couple of years ago. How was that? Because that looked like it was pretty packed.
It was a fucking cool show. It was raining cats and dogs, but I didn't realize until I stood out in one edge of the stage, and it suddenly rained on me. Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. But it was a lot of fun, and you know, that stage we played on is the biggest stage at Copenhagen. So for a Danish metal band, it's kind of the biggest stage you can play on the Danish metal scene, which it's quite an honor to do that, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, we were actually the first Danish band to be booked directly to that stage.
Oh wow!
So actually, there has been, I think, Pretty Mates and Artillery maybe, and DAD, but they were all subs for bands who had cancelled. We were actually the first one to play that stage.
Oh wow!
Booked as a Danish band. That was pretty fucking cool.
That's a good little anecdote.
Yeah. I have more. But and also we had the biggest one of the biggest mistakes during that set. That was actually, we had Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder up doing a guest vocal. We did a track together with him called Iconoclast, and he came up and he did the track, and on stage it was amazing. His vocals sound perfect, and we were having such a blast, but his vocals wasn't in the audience. It wasn't playing out.
I know all about that.
Like you earlier.
Yeah. Just somebody forgot to click the button.
Yeah, that was a terrible mistake, and a lot of people, they blamed our sound guy, and okay, he could have like yelled at people around him, but I heard it was like this substitute stage technician who patched the cable wrong, so it wasn't patched in the right plug. It was supposed to be in maybe number 2, but he put it in number 4. So no Trevor outside, but on stage it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, wicked, man. Yeah, well, it's crazy though, because scrolling through some of the photos, I'll try and bring some of them up here. It looks like, you know, all the memories and all the things you had with HateSphere. Because I mean, I'm sure most people are watching are familiar with the fact that you exited the band recently. Just again, we'll get into that in a second. But when I sort of scroll through all these photos, and you know, crazy tours you've been on, you supported was Decapitated. You even opened up for Metallica once at the Royal Arena. We've got some photos here from Copenhagen. What like most bands, would struggle years and years, and might not ever get to that stage. What sort of decision do you have in regards to saying I'm going to give this up? I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but if it's something you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of an insight on.
Yeah.
Because it's 10 years, and how many albums did you record with them?
Four plus a few singles and EPs and rarity stuff, but 4 albums. Yeah. So your question is, why did I give that up?
Yeah, it's like cause for so many people, like to actually get to that stage, like I'm not talking about stage like being on stage, but
no.
to build level, a brand, yeah. to build a business up to that stage where you have such a big audience and you're playing big shows and all that stuff. Yeah. How come you gave that up? What was the decision to leave?
The decision was that we didn't agree on inside the band whether we should stay at the same level or we should go bigger.
Right.
I really wanted to go bigger, and I really tried to. That was my dream, like to build up to so we could go to the next level. The fact is that playing in HateSphere was never like never gave like a real income so we could live off it. It was okay as a case supplement, but it was not like a livable wage. But I really wanted to go like you could live like halfway from HateSphere and playing in HateSphere. But we never really took the necessary steps to get to that level, in my opinion. And after so many years where I wanted to go further and some forces in the band didn't want to go further, I said to myself, I have to close this door on HateSphere to maybe open another door at some point that can take me to that level where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I think that's, maybe I'll offend some people here, but yeah, that's the reality of it.
Yeah, and again, look, it's obviously like it must be a big decision to actually do it. I suppose because again, at the end of the day, like being in a band is it's the same as being in a relationship. So again,
exactly.
If you are, exactly. But again, in your case, you were how many? 5 in the band?
5, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, yes, it's a 5-way relationship. So there's a lot of chemistry that needs to needs to add up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow, it's.
So I mean, of course it's a tough blow, but it's also like one of the realizations I had was maybe this conflict of interest is actually what's holding back this band. So maybe if me, what I thought, maybe me exiting could actually bring the band to another level. But our internal struggle in the band didn't end up in like a development or a progression, at least not to me. So yeah, I chose to close that door to try to find another door.
yeah. Well, it sounds like you have already found another door, because you very recently opened up your own music agency. I think you launched that. Was that sort of when the whole Corona stuff started, or was it just before that?
No, I think it was like I was like 2 weeks into the Corona thing here in Denmark, at least.
Yeah.
It was like in the beginning of April. I thought, to heck with it. I thought to myself, we need some positive news in all this bullshit. So So I know it was like a weird time to go live with it and announce this, but I thought, no, we need to do it. I need to do it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was like, I think it was like April 3rd or something. Yeah.
Well, so that's about 3 weeks ago then.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty new.
Yeah, good.
But it's something I've been working on since late last year. Talking to I announced an agreement with the convent, and I already talked to those girls in late last year. So we were already in talks back then. So yeah, it's been like building for like half a year or something, and then I thought, yeah, to hell with it. I it needs to get out there. I had to get it off my chest, so to speak, and show it to the world.
So convent, what made them sort of pique your interest, or why are they Basque material?
They're Basque material because they have an international setup, and to me, international is everything. I've grown a little bit tired of the Danish metal scene and how closed and around itself it is. I was looking for bands who wanted to kind of break that barrier around the Danish metal scene and go international. And Convent is absolutely one of those bands who really want to take it further than just, they don't just want to play the main stage at Copenhagen. They want to play the main stage at any bigger festival in all of the world. They really want to go much further than Denmark.
Yeah.
So that's very important to me, that it's international. And there is a movement in the Danish metal scene right now amongst the newer bands. We have, maybe it's the best upcoming scene in Denmark ever right now. It's very, very interesting what's happening right now. And a lot of these bands, they really want to go international. So what I'm trying to do with Basque is being like one of those actors, or whatever you can call them, trying to build like an infrastructure that immediately can take a Danish band and go abroad. It's kind of like, I always compare myself to Sweden, and people say, you can't do that. Yes, I can. And they are so far ahead. They're so far ahead on international commercial successes compared to Denmark. Of course, we have Volbeat, who they are out. It's a phenomenon, but they have so many bands that live off their music, and they sell out arenas for like 10 and 15,000 people around the world. We don't have that kind of bands in Denmark, except Volbeat. Yeah. And I really want to learn lessons from Sweden, Norway, and Finland, because they can take it. It feels like they can take any band and make them like an international name. We don't have that ability yet in Denmark, I think. But we will. Again, we have this movement within the metal scene that wants to go international. And I want to be part of that movement and help build that infrastructure that can make international successes.
Yeah, awesome. So what is it that you have to offer? Like, what is it that you can teach those new bands or those upcoming bands?
I was lucky enough to play in HateSphere, which is maybe not an international success, but still an international band that played the most part of our shows was abroad. So I've learned tons of lessons throughout the decade. I was in HateSphere, and being in that band also gave me the interest for the whole music business and thinking about the whole music business and how it was structured and what mechanisms was in play and all that. So all the experiences I kind of gathered by working within the band, but also working as like the strategic and administrative engine in the band, kind of gave me a lot of lessons and a lot of experience I can pass on to younger bands. So yeah.
Now again, look. I was about to say. I mean, needless to say, like if you scroll through your photos, like you would have played, I don't know how many shows, and you know you would have. I'm assuming your network would be enormous, and that again is something that does come with experience, of course.
Sure.
And I could only imagine that a lot of young bands would be able to use that as a massive reference or a massive.
Sure,
point.
but also I have tons to learn still, because what I experienced is when I kind of launched Basque Agency, I found out there's a whole other side to the music industries which I have like never really bumped into, and that's the whole, you know, all the bookers within the festival circuit and all the managements and stuff like that. I've never really seen these people. I never really met these people.
I've
met tons of bands, tons of crews, of course a little bit of booking agents and local promoters and stuff like that. But that whole mechanism behind the scenes, it's a completely different breed of people, and I need to study these guys and become one of them, actually.
Well, I suppose, you just got to throw yourself out on the deep end and
exactly. Sure.
And get started. So what sort of are you trying to do this in like as your primary income, or are you still gonna try and sort of balance it between Swindler and Basque?
It's probably going to be at some point when the music industry is back on track.
Fair point.
It will probably be my main income. But I'm this kind of person that like I put everything together and to make a decent income. So I go do like I was supposed to back in like a few weeks ago, I was supposed to host a festival, and I was supposed to do a talk. I'm supposed to host a tattoo convention in September and stuff. So I do a lot of different stuff to like put my living together. So but mainly it will hopefully be Basque that brings in the income, and probably again. The first few years I have to do a lot of touring and be crew of some sort, like tour manager or tech or whatever, chauffeur, to like earn my income. But then as my bands will grow, there will be more money from coming from the bands as well, from the whole management side.
Yep. Well, I think like you mentioned before, there are so many really new and interesting upcoming bands in Denmark at the moment, which is very exciting. I don't really know any of them, so would any of those sort of be like material for you? Something that you could see yourself manage or help shape in the future?
Sure, yeah. But right now I have two bands. I have Convent and I have the other band the Unmentionable band right now.
Exciting.
It's a secret still. And those were the two bands I wanted.
Cool.
So I'm gonna start out with these two bands and see what work, put the time into these two bands and see what we can build together. And then when I get more experience, when their names get bigger, I will begin looking at the upcoming bands in Denmark, and I'm always open to like do consulting for bands. I've already done, like when I just announced Basque, I got a lot of emails from different bands who wanted to ask if they could be represented by Basque, and then I had to decline because, again, I have the bands I want. But I gave them good advice on how they could proceed and how they could build their name and stuff like that. So people are always welcome to send me an email or give me a ring or something, and we can have a talk about different stuff. I'm open for that always. But cool. But for now it's these two bands, and I have I will, with these two bands, we're gonna grow together, so to speak. So I will become a better manager, and they will become bigger names.
Excellent. Well, again, we had an interesting idea a couple of months ago. We were sort of talking about maybe see if we could get Swindler to come to Australia. I suppose it probably won't be happening anytime soon. But in regards to sort of touring, have you been to Australia before?
Nope.
So so that would be obviously a new territory to explore.
Would love to go there. Would love to go there. And I was actually thinking about Australia the other day, and I thought to myself, maybe artists could get a discount on flights down to Australia, because right now it's like, to go for a small rock band like Swindler going to Australia is fucking expensive compared to what we make from doing this. So maybe on the other side of Corona, maybe the airlines could do like this artist discount or something,
You so can try and put it forward. You can get a fast discount.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I could do like a deal with I don't know, some Air Asia or something.
I suppose Air Asia probably not. I don't even think they actually fly to Europe anymore. They do a little bit of sort of like almost like domestic flight. Like they fly in and out of KL, which is like their main hub there. So now I think really if you do wanna do some proper touring in Australia, like I said, unfortunately it has to be the East Coast, and you gotta put in the hours in a shit event. So.
Yeah, but that's cool, and I want to do it. We have to build this, as you and I were talking about, like build this bridge between Denmark and Australia. That could be really cool to again build some kind of infrastructure that can actually bring bands back and forth from Denmark to Australia, and vice versa. That would be so fucking cool, So let's do that.
Absolutely. Well, I need to send you some email to get some Basque consulting. Or you can employ me on like a goodwill basis. Work out of the Basque Perth office.
Yeah, exactly. That could be cool. Nice.
In regards to, I think you did mention that sort of briefly in regards to like the Danish scene versus the Scandinavian and the international. So what do you see sort of would be like the next step, like for the bands to sort of improve up to that next level that you see? I mean, I understand that when you say convent, they want to do it. I'm sure a lot of bands want to do it, but from wanting something to actually doing it, or having the sort of quality or drive needed, what's the X factor?
I think obviously talent, but that's far from enough. You need this, as I said, international infrastructure. You need agencies like Basque agencies who has international perspective. We need international booking agencies in Denmark. We need international record companies, real international record companies in Denmark. Real international booking agency, real international managements. Because if you look at a country like look everywhere kind of. Holland, it's a same size country as Denmark. They have 3 times the people, but they have 2 of the biggest metal booking agencies in all of Europe. One is called Doomstar Booking, and the other one is called Avocado. Avocado, yeah. And these are international. They do huge tours around Europe all the time, and and yeah, they have huge bands and stuff like that. We don't have that in Denmark at all. We have booking agencies made for the Danish market. We have record companies pretty much made for the Danish market. We have management made for the Danish market, and that's a huge flaw. And that's why we're kind of, obviously there are, and people will get offended when I say this, but obviously there are some international agencies and stuff like that. But for the most part, the scene, the whole music scene in Denmark, actually, not just the metal scene, but the whole music scene is kind of wrapped around itself and doesn't like reach out, which I think it should. Also, and this is a little secret to every band out there. Also, the normal Danish setup is record company, Danish booker, and then European booker. Instead of just having record company and a European booker. So you actually you can sell what you have as a young band, for instance, is your home market where you can make a little bit of money. So if you invest your home market, Denmark in this case, to like whatever, Dutch, German, whatever booker, you can actually give them the incentive to book wider and not just for because the Danish booker will only book for the Danish market. You see what I mean?
Yeah, and that's obviously extremely limited. Like
exactly.
There's only so much you can do. Yeah.
Exactly. So my point is that you need. I think more Danish bands should take the chance and take the risk of like shipping the Danish market off to like an international booker. Maybe there are some elements of this I haven't and problems with it I haven't seen yet, but like looking at it, it's one of the flaws in the Danish on the Danish market.
And so you mentioned before about sort of setting up an infrastructure. How would you implement that? Because obviously, like Europe is still there's a lot of logistics that needs to go into sort of setting something up Europeanly, especially like there's language barriers, is visas. I'm assuming.
Yeah. What I mean by infrastructure is not. I don't want to build an actual road.
I get that. Build a bridge, build a wall.
Yeah, exactly. No, what I mean about this is like I want to install kind of a more international mindset. So bands from the outset is more. That's part of it. Is more internationally minded. And then I need, as an agency, I need to have the contacts that this internationally minded band needs to get them out. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the same goes for booking agencies. Danish booking agents should be international. They should find bigger bands and book them all over Europe. In that, if they do that, they have contacts and they can actually trade bands back and forth. You know, because when you book a tour, for instance, you have you want to do a European tour. Your European agent, he will talk to local agents around Europe, and they will book the show in their territory. So if for instance Gojira, they want a show in Copenhagen, they will talk to a local promoter or a local booker in Denmark.
Yeah,
so
right.
So if for instance we had like an international booker in Copenhagen, in Denmark, whatever, who took in Gojira, then they could say, okay, yeah, I take Gojira, but you take this Danish band, for instance, and take them abroad. So it's kind of like a trade-off. But because right now it's like Danish bookers, they just book for the Danish scene, and they don't send anything in return. Some do, but it's not the rule on the Danish scene.
So is that one of the main things on your list to change for bars? Like, are you going to be one of those guys that will be going in and actually setting up the roadmap or the infrastructure, as you're saying about, to actually sit and book and trade bands in between European countries?
that is my aim. Yes. How exactly I'm going to do it, because I'm some sort of a first mover on this. Oh, somebody's at the door. Maybe it's commercial. I don't know. Leaflets. I'm some sort of a first mover on this, so I have to like figure it out along the way. But I've seen international agents outside Denmark and how they do it. So I guess I can like steal all their how they have structured things. But yeah, but it's Denmark, so I have to I figure it out along the way. Yeah,
learning by doing, I suppose, as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
There'll be a bit of trial and error there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let us see. Is there anything sort of in particular? Just if we are talking about Basque, are you going to represent Swindler at the same time there, or is that completely separate?
It's yeah, I am, but it's not. That's just for fun. That's my own little hobby project. So it's not something I will use the Basque agency to do some, right, like officially. No.
Okay. Yeah. But, so it won't be like a brand.
But I will gather experience from working with the Swindler, and use it in Basque and vice versa. So,
so talking about Swindler, I was a bit surprised actually that you guys have been around for quite some time. I've completely lost track of time. I suppose because you get older and you get grey beard and grey hair. When did you guys start?
I believe it was, I don't know, spring 2014 maybe. Yeah, 2014. And then we put out a demo or EP in the beginning of 15 and one again in 16, and then was it last year? Was it the year before? I can't remember. We put out our debut album, but yeah, we were around. Yeah, we've been around for like 6 years now.
But how did that start? Because back then you would have been all in with HateSphere. You guys would have been touring all the time and stuff. How did you find time to start up this extra band?
Yeah, we've been around for 6 years and we haven't like made a name for ourselves yet. So obviously I didn't have the time that was needed to make a name for that band. But it was kind of just like, it was like a side project, which I put together mostly because the guitar player Stefan was, or Prozac Smith as we call him. He's a really gifted rock and roll guitar player, and he's just amazing. So I thought, and I went to see like these indie shows he did, and I was like, what the fuck, you're not supposed to play like this introvert indie kind of thing. So I built Swindler for him.
Awesome. Yeah. So he's obviously, so he's the guy, in case any of the guys watching here, if you saw the intro video with Hush Money, so yeah, exactly, the George Pell video. So he's the guy playing in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But look,
exactly.
I mean, so how did you sort of put the whole band together? Because obviously, so you have Stefan.
It has Stefan, yeah, and then I talked to I met Ask at a Nine Inch Nails show, I think, and he used to play in a rock band called Rock Hard Power Spray, who was a big deal in Denmark at some point in the early zeros, I think.
Yeah.
Then we needed a drummer, and I brought along Mike from HateSphere. And now here's a little announcement. He's no longer a part of Swindler. He's
wow.
We parted ways. That was the best thing to do since I left HateSphere, and
no conflict of interest there.
Exactly. So we have a good dude who Ask, and Stefan has played with earlier, called Jeppe. He played in a band called Surfat.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we haven't rehearsed with him yet because of this whole Corona thing. But yeah, we're gonna do that next month.
Right. Oh, so this is very recent.
It's very recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that, are you planning on doing any new material or what's, because if you said it was sort of like your hobby band, and I'm assuming you're going to be really busy, you're going to start, get your hands dirty on the music agency side of things. What's the future like for Swindler?
We actually just got a new rehearsal space, so I think we're gonna go there and we're gonna start rehearsing the old songs so we can play those together, and then we're gonna start writing some new material. There's we have all the time in the world right now. Nothing is happening on the on the live scene, on the music scene really. So yeah, we're just gonna write, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have so we can put out some new songs maybe later this year or next year, early next year sometime. Yeah, let's see what happens.
And how does how do you guys write songs? Is that do you do ideas by yourself, or is it something that is an organic development?
It's different from song to song, but on the last record, we went to Ask's home studio, and we had I had an idea for something, and then if something was missing, we wrote it on the spot, or maybe Ask or Stefan or whoever had an idea for one of my sketches. So we put it together like that, and then we go to the rehearsal space, see does it work, doesn't it work, and then we maybe change something up, and yeah. But some songs are like one riff from one guy, one riff from one guy, one riff from the third guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very different actually.
Because again, if you listen back to the album, like the album is sort of very consistent. Like it has, it has that really good, solid rock. I think you guys call it chopper rock. But it's like it sounds consistent. It sounds like a uniform, like a whole album. So if you guys are all putting in the same ideas, you obviously get those ideas from the same place.
Yeah, probably. I have it's pretty easy for me to hear who wrote what.
Right.
I'm glad that people can't. So it means that we're compatible. I think it's. I don't think we actually have the same exact mindset of how a riff is supposed to be. It's just that our separate ideas they actually mix, and that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing. So yeah, we value that. But it's not like that we agree on this is how it's supposed to sound. La la la. No, it's just we come up with ideas, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it's an absolutely awesome album. And I must admit, when it first came out, I listened to it a lot. Like it's just one of those. Yeah.
You listened to it before it came out.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, why did it take it so long for it to actually be released?
I tried to shop it around to labels, and we actually had one label on our hands, and that conversation just dragged out, and then I said, "Fuck it, we're gonna put it out ourselves." But it was like a really cool label.
Okay.
So we was like, come on, just say yes, just do it, goddammit. But yeah, it fell through, so yeah, we had to do it ourselves.
But are labels really still that important these days? I mean, with the internet and everything
their network is. They have a network you can't even imagine, and that's the whole thing. It takes years to build that net. You can do it yourself, but it takes years to build that network.
Okay.
So that's why labels are kind of the shortcut to a bigger, grander network.
But look, there's no free lunch. So again,
Exactly.
what cost does that come at? Because I'm assuming, like, because if it was that easy, if you could just say, look, I'm just gonna get a label, and then I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be touring like HateSphere or like any of the Swedish bands or the other big bands. What like? Surely that network. I'm assuming if you are in the rock genre or the metal genre, that network, like you're not mainstream, you're not being played on the radio and stuff. So how important is that network for this particular genre?
It's very important. Also now, you need to get on playlists on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that, and they have it seems like they have an easier time getting tracks on these playlists, for instance, than I have as a private person. It's I know it's bullshit, but it's leverage, and it's I don't want to say corruption, but it's not corruption, but they what's it called? They're just better friends with Spotify than I am. So they get on playlists and stuff like that, and into interviews in magazines and all that stuff.
Right. Okay. I can see that. I can understand that. Yeah. But everything else, it just seems like. I mean, I suppose the whole thing had been like, what is the record deal these days? Like, you're not getting a huge upfront payment, or the big mansion and luxury cars and stuff.
No. I don't know. An upcoming band, they can expect like 2,000 euros maybe. I don't know how much that is in Australian dollars, but it's
about
2,000.
3,000.
Yeah. That's probably what you can expect, and doing a record it's much more than that, and you have to pay for the record yourself.
So they pay you a fraction of the actual album.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Yeah, but I mean, it is. I love this business, but it is a tricky and kind of shitty business. And it's filled with used car salesmen, so to speak. It's yeah, and it's always the one who compose, always the one who create, who end up losing in this.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, and that is so sad, but that's how it's built up, and I hope that we can change that, one step at a time, so we get a more fair share, that the composers and the creators get a more fair share of the income in this business.
But it's just like I think that just baffles me about the industry is that every time we hear those stories about how Beatles got turned down time after time after time, then they get picked up and they become probably still arguably the biggest rock band ever. And you hear all these other stories about artists that just keep on going, and then they finally get a break. But what just puzzles me is, imagine all those awesome bands out there that you never hear of because they give up, and there'll be all these polished gems just floating around somewhere out there, but you never hear of them because they eventually end up going back and getting a job at stocking shelves at the supermarket or something.
But if you're a little tough on these bands, then they're just not cut out to be in the music industry. If they give up, they're not cut out to be in this industry. And
but eventually you're gonna run out of money, because again, if you keep running your smacking your head against the wall because no one is gonna pay to hear your original music, either you're gonna sell your soul and you're gonna start a cover band, or again you need to prioritize your time between having your original band and having either part-time or a full-time job on the side. Which again can be hard to sustain if you then also like yourself, if you start touring more and more and more, then it's hard to also have that income from your job.
But I mean, then what a lot of bands lack, I think, is a strategy.
Oh,
It's
yep.
h-
Good point.
how are we also the bands they've kind of refused to see themselves as a company and
Mm.
as a brand that
Yep.
needs to build. So they never like uh, put like the greater goal at the end of the tunnel in front of them and see what goals you have along the way. They never like no, they never built never. That's a strong word, but rarely you see a small band with a strategy from the get go. And a lot of bands could benefit from having this strategy from the get go. Where do we
Mm.
want to go? What do we want to do with this?
But that, yeah, I suppose that comes back to the whole thing you were talking about, with HateSphere as well, and I'm sure a lot of other bands, or a lot of relationships in general. It's so important
Yeah,
that you're on the same page. But when you're in a
exactly.
band and you're 3, 4, 5 people, that's a lot
Yeah,
of people that have to be on the same
yeah,
page and have the same,
yes,
like, pursue the same goal.
yes,
But yeah, I reckon you're spot on saying like you need a business plan, you need a
yeah,
strategy, and you need to
yeah,
sort of dissect that into to smaller
exactly.
achievable goals along the way.
But when you have different, if you have differences within a band, you need to compromise. It's important that you compromise. It's important that everybody. It's not just one person who like dictates what's going to happen. It has to be like the collective reaching a compromise. When you have that compromise, it's easier to move forward, I think.
Mm.
Uh, and if you have that compromise, you have your strategy, you have your goal, you can begin moving
But
and
there's so
building.
many, but there's so many levers to pull because again,
Yes,
like you have,
yes,
you have different people, and
yeah,
you if to keep everybody motivated at the same time,
yeah,
like that must be
yeah,
that must be a task. And again, like just
yeah,
quickly, just coming back to HateSphere, there's been so many replacements in the band
yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
Is that mainly because of the same things, like people's motivation or people's priorities change, or is it because
Yeah,
people start a family, or like?
yeah, it's mainly priorities that change, and it's HateSphere was kind of for me at least it was almost a full-time job with a little payoff, a very small payoff,
Mm,
and it was fine as long as I felt that it was moving. I would love to just to work with something. I just like things to happen and develop. That's just my thing. That's what my passion is development and happening,
yep.
creation. And when you don't feel that things are moving, then you kind of burn out. Uh, so
Yep.
yeah, it's all the lineup changes has been priorities changing and lack of energy, I think, that cause people to leave the band. But yeah, life happens.
It does. It does.
Yeah,
In a way, yeah.
yeah,
But at the same time, yeah, it must be so, like, it must be exhausting as well. Trying to build this brand or build this business,
yeah,
and then you lose out on, say, so if you say one guy leaves and you're five in the band, so 20% of the integral part of your company
yeah,
disappears and needs to be replaced, and you need someone else. You need
yeah,
to retrain this new
yeah,
person.
yeah.
Um,
But it is a setback every time. Every time it's a setback.
of
That's for
course.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think about now, HVA should be used to it. So.
Oh yeah. It's
but
yeah.
I,
But
it,
it's
but I'm.
it's just so unique. It's just so unique to see a band that stays together. Where,
Yeah,
like, the only band that I can think of is Rammstein.
yeah,
They have had zero replacements in the band's history. Uh, but pretty much any other band, like I said, I can't think of any other big band, big or small, that hasn't had any You know, if say any band that's been around for a couple of decades.
Yeah.
But it's like especially if you are looking at the upcoming scene, or people that are on the way up. Like how do you keep that drive and that motivation when when people leave, you keep knocking on the door, you keep getting rejected. I think that's probably that's probably one of the most important questions for anyone wanting to try and make it. How do you
Yeah.
keep going?
Most bands are like passion projects, if you know what I mean. It has to be driven somewhat of passion and belief in your band, your product, or your whatever you want. So what it's like a fundamental belief in your own thing. But of course, some bands they lose this belief at some point and lose the passion for music because they run into one no after the other. But keeping, I don't know what has kept me. I just love it. It is passion. I just love music. I just love playing music. I just love creating music. I just love working with music. So it's passion, dude.
It is, and I think that has to be the main thing, and also belief. The fact that you think, look, I know it's going to take a lot of hard work, it's going to take a lot of rejections, but I'm gonna, it's a whole thing about what's the motto? Go for it or die trying or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it must be tough, man. Especially going for like decades, and still being at a point where you sort of struggle to pay your rent or pay your bills.
Yeah. But it is, and I think that's one of the HateSphere and Ill-Disposed are very rare cases on the Danish metal scene, because a lot of bands have given up already. They and that's admirable that they keep going, those two bands. But yeah, most bands they crumble and die kind of, because in Denmark it's very much like a struggle between music life, work life, and private life, and in 9 out of 10 situations, the music life is the one that gets sacrificed, because there's a mentality, I think, in the whole Danish society that being a musician is predominantly a hobby. It's not something you can live off.
That's a very, very interesting approach. Yep.
Yeah, and if you go to Sweden, it's pretty obvious that if you're a musician, you can actually live off it. And I've seen American bands, how they are musicians. They don't own anything but their instruments and their van and their trailer, and then they just tour. And they live off those $5 to $10 they get for buyouts every evening, but every night they play. But yeah, that mentality is not present in Denmark, at least. It's more like a hobby thing.
So really, what you talk about is identity. Like, who are you? Are you a musician, or are you someone who's stocking shelves at the local supermarket?
I'm not a big fan on identity. It's a horrible concept, I think. But I'd rather talk about what you identify with.
Sure, okay, let's do that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a difference, at least in my head. And of course, for me, I always identified with being a musician. So when I just finished I have a degree in the history of ideas. So I'm a master of arts in history of ideas. And when I finished that, I wasn't identifying with being a being a scientist or what an academic, is it called that? Yeah, I was still
Yep.
I was identifying with being a musician. So when that job within my like field of study didn't show up, no, it was fine by me. I was a musician. I identified with music, and I always identified with music. So yeah, for me, work life is not that. It's not important. That the regular work life. Has always been the identifier has been music for me.
Well, wouldn't it also be? Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, and I recall it very vaguely, or not very, I recall it very clearly myself back in the day when you and I played together. It was like you were. I was the drummer of this band, and then I was doing something else as well. But that's what I identified with. So everything else sort of was not necessarily secondary, but it wasn't as important as being the musician. Is that what you're referring to as well? Like so the fact is that
exactly.
Yep.
But it's never scared me that I didn't make a lot of money and I didn't had a steady job and all that. I've always lived fine by having jobs in periods of time and then have no job and then have a little bit of job. So because it was always just to make ends meet to be a musician and work with music. So yeah. So I'm just a passionate fool, I think.
No, it's very admirable, and I think it is a very unique trade, but again a trade that most musicians share, because you have to have that belief, you have to have that confidence, that and again the passion. I think passion is probably the right word to use. Cool. Oh, look, we've been chatting for well over an hour now.
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
Time goes fast when you hygge dig.
I know. It's good, man. No, look, it's a pleasure. It's good to see your face again, man.
Yeah, you too.
You've got about as much. I feel like I've got my big itchy beard here. I deliberately decided not to shave and cut my hair until this whole crisis is over, and it feels like my face is burning.
It does. So it's your Corona beard and hair.
Yeah. I've got COVID-19 on my face. Like, cool. Too soon.
Yeah.
All right. Do you wanna? Should we try and jump to some Q&A and see what there's anyone who's got something to say here. Let's see. Wow, there's lots of comments here. And Pinel says, "Hi guys." Let's see. And he says that Denmark is looking after musicians. I don't know if that's looking after musicians or looking after musicians.
I think it's looking after, because they are. But it was like during this crisis, it was actually a topic for a long time that our Minister of Culture, she didn't like step in and took a stand on what was going to happen to the whole music business and the whole arts business, culture business. But it seems like they stepped up and actually had a plan for us as well. But my company is so young, so I can't like benefit from it at all. But it's fine.
Oh yeah, of course.
But they are looking after us now, so that's cool.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure it's the same. Oh, it is the same here, but I'm not too sure on how it works if you sort of set up as like a band or anything within the music business. What have we got here? And Pinel is also asking if you have got any other, or have you got any bands on your roster as of yet? So yeah, you answered that already. You've got this secret band that we're gonna hear about shortly, and Convent. Convent. How do you I'm assuming they'll be on social media as well if people want to check them out.
Yeah,
Is it,
yeah.
so, well, how do you spell that?
Konvent.
Convent.
Convent with a K. With a K.
Awesome. What kind of music is that? So
it's they call themselves Death Doom. It's very slow and it's very deathy. Rikke, the singer, she sounds like a fucking monster. She's amazing.
Nice.
And the songs are so heavy and cool riffs, and yeah, it has this like, it has this, is it called purity? Like when you heard Black Sabbath the first time, you know, it's kind of that.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's simple, but it's so fucking sweet, you know. It's really, really cool music. I really like it.
And this is an all girl band, or?
All girl.
Wow, that's quite unusual.
Yeah. They're fucking badass.
Good. They're the first Basque assignment.
Yeah.
New Swindler songs, says Rick.
Yes.
So
in
the future, no set date, no nothing.
Actually, we have one song we hadn't released that was a leftover from our album. Maybe we should put that out pretty soon. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to put out a song before summer. Let's say that.
Danish summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Danish summer. Yeah. Before winter, Australian winter.
Nice.
Yeah. The whole hemisphere thing. No, the Earth is flat.
Let's not start that. Dude, just before we round off, there is one specific photo here I would like to bring up. That is when you met James Hetfield and Metallica.
Yes.
I'm just scrolling through all these crazy photos here on your website, on your Facebook page. Tell me a bit more about that. I'll find it while you talk. So how did you guys get that gig, and how was that?
It was a crazy story because Metallica was supposed to play 3 or 4 shows in Copenhagen, and they did this thing where they put to vote who was gonna support them on different shows around the world. So actually, our old guitar player, Jakob Nyholm, he wrote me, I think, and said, "Dude, do you realize you're on this like vote, this poll to be supporting Metallica?" I was like, "What?" And then I went to this web page where this poll was, and then it was just like a mania to get people to vote for us so we could support Metallica. So it was like a month. I don't know. No, it felt like a month, but it was just like sleepless nights just to like keep pushing to get enough votes to become the support band. Because it was like a childhood dream for all of us. So yeah, we were just pushing. And then we got in, I don't know, 3rd or 4th in that poll, and were selected to play the very first show at Royal Arena, the newly built Royal Arena here in Copenhagen. Like, it holds like 15,000 people. And so actually, we were the first official band to play in the Royal Arena as well. Yeah. And then people say, no, there's this duo playing the drums called Safri Duo. I don't know, Safti Dudum, you know. Yeah.
I remember them, yeah. I didn't know they were around anymore.
No, but they played like at the unofficial opening, where the Crown Prince came and cut the band and all that. But that doesn't really count. So we were HateSphere was the first band to play that show. And right after we played that show, and right before they went on, we got there's stage manager, or was it the tour manager. No, I think it was the stage manager, production manager, whatever. He came and picked us up and took us to the other side of the venue, and we were standing in this hallway just next to the stage, and they came out and said hello, and we took a picture. And Lars, he was just like asking me the same question over and over again. But, but
what was he asking you?
Yeah, he was asking in Danish. It's what was it? He was saying? Er det varmt derude? Er det varmt derude? That means have you warmed them up? Have you warmed them up? Yes, I have. Yeah. We did. So yeah, that was cool.
Oh, dude, man, I've put the shout out from Instagram, from Metallica's Instagram, up now here. That's wow. That is quite a memory, hey.
Yeah, it was cool. And actually the coolest thing about this, obviously, meeting them was awesome, but also to see, if you're a real rock star, how big the production and how big the crew, how big everything is. It's huge compared to what we were used to, or I was used to in HateSphere. It's so I got a like a insight into the real rock star life. That's that's as high as you can go. Yeah, exactly. True.
I'm just curious. How was it just before you went on stage there? Because that would be. I'm assuming that would be pretty.
Yeah, that was pretty nerve-wracking, but it was just amazing being in that. The Royal Arena is an amazing venue, so it was just like, people all over the place. It was fucking fantastic. But I feed off that shit. I'm never like really nervous. I was just excited to go out there and give people a show.
Of course. Is there any video footage of that show available anywhere?
Yeah, there are a few clips on YouTube, I think. So if you search for HateSphere Royal Arena, they should pop up.
On YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah.
Where else? I was about to say, where else can people find some stuff about it? Is your Facebook profile, is that private or is it open?
It's open.
Okay.
It's so everybody can apply to become my very dear and near friend.
So they can follow you and like you at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have then Swindler has a Facebook page and an Instagram, and the same goes with Bask Agency. And then I have this singer-songwriter duo doing Danish protest songs. And
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I have different stuff.
How's the protest going?
It was fine. I just recorded a song, so we just needed to get it mixed. I actually have to listen to a piano that's been played by the piano player from Baal.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
are they still around?
Yeah, they are. They just put out a record. So yeah, there's gonna be a song out pretty soon, I guess.
From Baal?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Protest. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's try and look them up here. Protest. So is that so you're doing that a bit? You're going to the next level with that, or doing an album and all that, or world tour?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just for fun. It's just because I missed making music with my old best friend, and then let's do some protest songs. There's not enough political rock and roll and songs out there, so we just wrote a few and put out a song once in a while.
I've got your Facebook page open here where you can see you guys standing with the face masks. It's very
exactly. It's very Corona-like.
It
was way before Corona.
That's awesome, man. Yep. That is awesome. So that is let us just quickly have a look at Swindler as well, just to see what people can expect if you if you check you guys out there. We're obviously going to finish off with another song. I'll let you talk a little bit about that in a second. So here we got your Swindler page. You actually had a couple of gigs coming up. I can see.
Yeah, but they got postponed.
Of course, yeah.
One is a small festival for disabled people. Actually, a place where both Stefan and I worked. But it got postponed to September, I think. And the other show will be postponed to next year or something like that. But yeah, we have to see what happens with the music business in general. Everything is so uncertain at the moment.
It is, man. Yeah, and that's unfortunately, just a waiting game.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what. Not excited, but I'm maybe excited to see how the audience and how the bands, how the industry in general will react to all this on the other side when we have a vaccine and stuff like that. It's going to be exciting times. It's going to be an explosion, I think, of tours and festivals and records.
people definitely want to get out there again and enjoy their favorite bands and
I think so.
join in the community, the music community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it's a waiting game.
Awesome, Esben. Look, it's been a pleasure. It's been awesome having you on board. We need to have another chat about some good old Storm times and
we can do the
different day
episode. Different day.
Reminisce over old memories, man. Look, before we wrap it up here, I've got another little Swindler video here to play for the passionate people who's been hanging out here. Do you just want to just give us a little comment about how the video came about? The video for Gold Digger. For
Gold Digger. Oh, it was me. I wanted to try a new app, so I thought I would do like this. It was like this. Like this. It was actually like a music video kind of app, and it only worked for me that one time. Since then, it failed me. But this time, I went to all the sites in Copenhagen, felt myself lip syncing to the song, and that's why it's an official lip sync video. But yeah, it's a tour around Copenhagen and all the pretty places we have here in this beautiful city. When the sun shines on Copenhagen, it's probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. It just doesn't shine that much here in Denmark. It's too bad.
That's it. But again, look, I can't wait to come back one day. Don't know when that'll be, but yeah, take some photos. Make the world a sunnier and a better place. And can't wait to hear some more music and can't wait to check out Convent and the other band whenever that is being announced. Excellent. Esben, thanks again. It was a pleasure, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take it easy, and I will finish off here with a little bit of Gold Digger. Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and generally keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.